After the release of Super Mario Party Jamboree, the Nintendo Switch officially has 16 Mario Party boards, which is actually quite insane. Almost half of those all come from Jamboree's 7 boards. However, I didn't just want to do a Jamboree board ranking. I want to take a look back at all 3 Switch Mario Party games, Super Mario Party, Mario Party Superstars, and Super Mario Party Jamboree, and put together a comprehensive list of what I think the best boards are. Why? Because the boards are the life of the series. A good bunch of boards can make a game an instant classic, while a bad bunch of boards make a game with fun minigames basically unplayable. With all that said, be sure to hit subscribe if you're enjoying the content. At 250,000 subscribers, we're releasing a behemoth milestone video that you want to make sure to catch. So by hitting that bell, you can be notified for our future releases. But without further ado, let's begin. In last place, we have Mega Fruit Paradise. Do not be fooled by this board's immaculate visuals. This is by far and away the most broken, unfun, and borderline unplayable board in the series. The way this board is supposed to function is as if there were 4 connected boards, all with their own unique gimmick. Lactoo's gift boxes, the watermelon sparklers, Wiggler's melted ice cream shop, and sand, I guess?
I don't like sand.
Yeah, that island doesn't have a gimmick, which is perfect because if you get stuck on an island and aren't able to land on the warp pipe event space, you'll be stuck there turn after turn going in circles trying to land on it. And I hear y'all saying, but there's a bridge. Yeah, a bridge that at any moment can just collapse, locking you on an island. This board is pure RNG and doesn't give you the slightest illusion of choice. Mario Party is a random game, but when the only viable strategy is luck, that is no longer a board game. That is a boring game. Our next board is Chemic's Tantalizing Tower. This board is actually alright in premise. I love the gold theming, and the main gimmick of the random star prices is pretty unique. Not to mention you can buy 2 stars at once if you've got the cash. It's point to point, which while not my favorite, can be a fun change of pace when executed correctly. However, the layout of this board is just so boring. It's so short and only has 2 split paths. There's no strategy to this board at all. You can't stall getting to the star for a cheaper price, and instead you just have to hope when it's your turn at the top it's cheaper than your friend's stars. Playing it feels more like an A-button simulator than a Mario Party board. It's a disappointing board that should have had a lot of potential to be something special. Alright, at this point you can probably tell there's a bit of a pattern here. I really hate calling Super Mario Party out like this, but this game just did not know what makes a board fun and exciting. Womp's Domino Ruins is the chicken tenders and fries of Mario Party boards. It does nothing wrong while doing nothing special. If you play it, you'll have a fine Mario Party experience. It's not broken or necessarily boring, but it's serviceable at best. The main thing this level has going for it is the Indiana Jones boulder at the back that will move all the players to the start of that row. But besides that, it really has no heart. King Bob-omb's Powder Keg Mine. Finally, the last Super Mario Party board. And it's actually not terrible. Don't get it twisted, it's not good in any stretch of the word. However, out of all of the boards in this game, it's got the most heart and feels like they tried here. The conveyor belt with the Bob-omb ally is hilarious, getting you stuck with a possible -1 to your dice roll. The King Bob-omb explosion is a great risk versus reward element, where landing on the event space when it explodes will lose half of your coins. However, yet again, it just doesn't have enough going for it. The King Bob-omb explosion is super rare, that it'll at most happen once a game. And on top of that, the board's concentric circle design just doesn't have enough variety to make it a worthwhile endeavor. Moving on from Super Mario Party, we have our first remade board on this list, and that is Peach's birthday cake. It's honestly a shame how boring this board is, considering it might be one of my favorite themes they've ever done. Just listen to the sound design of Yoshi sliding down the wafer. Just delicious. However, the board has some pretty poor flaws. There are no decisions anywhere along your path. It's a game of Monopoly at best and a high dice roll simulator at its worst. The Piranha Plant seed event spaces are the best part about this board, allowing you to steal a star from anyone who lands on that plant they bought. It's a pretty cool concept in theory, replacing the booze from other boards. However, 30 coins for a pretty low chance at stealing a star isn't a great investment. On high turn rounds of this board, I bet it could get pretty hectic, but for the classic 15, it usually ends up being pretty mundane. I will give them credit though, the Bowser Lottery is actually quite funny. Alright, our first Jamboree board on the list, and it should come as no surprise. It's Goomba Lagoon. It truly is a shame because this board really should be higher rated than it is. It's got a unique theme-specific gimmick with the low tide, high tide changes. The volcano had the possibility to be truly devastating for the person who lands on it, and the overall design of this board is quite wide and varying. However, high tide absolutely breaks this board. If you're not on one of the big islands, you are absolutely screwed, which is something I usually like in Mario Party boards. I'm usually an agent of chaos. However, when one of your turns looks like Duck Duck Goose, we've got a problem. Also, the volcano might just be the most boring event in the entire game. Golden Goombas and lava bubbles that steal coins, I truly could not care less. This is the most heartbreaking placement on the list. Woody Woods has the potential to be up there with some of the best Mario Party boards in the series. Its layout is spectacular, the event spaces are sublime, and the risk versus reward elements are there. However, the Monty Moles switching the signs absolutely breaks any illusion of choice this board could have had. I kid you not, I recorded a 10-round game of Woody Woods for gameplay for this video, and by the time we got to the end, no one had any stars. Luigi won literally by doing nothing and got the bonus stars. No one has any agency on this board, and in turn, everything you do feels pointless. I truly think without the game-breaking sign switching mechanic, this board could have been up there with the greats, but I guess we'll never know. Now here we are. Every board left in this ranking, I believe, is a good board, which is actually not a bad percentage. 9 out of 16 is just over 50%. Still a failing grade, but luckily the back half of this list is filled with bangers. Firstly, we have Yoshi's Tropical Island. This is what Mega Fruit Paradise wishes it was. The game of hot potato Toadette and Bowser have over what island the star is going to be on is a little frustrating, but frustrating in a fun way. The Thwomp tax is hilarious. It's something I always do no matter what is set it exorbitantly high. I just love screwing everybody over. And the other event spaces are nicely sprinkled throughout. It's a fairly simple board, but an insanely fun one at that. Headlining our front half of boards goes to the brand new Mega Wiggler's Tree Party. This is the vibe board. No stress, just vibes. Nothing better than waiting for your friend to move and seeing a cute little toad flipping a pancake. However, game-wise, how is it? Great. Wiggler management is key here. Making sure to grab a Wiggler Bell on this board is critical to scoring your friends over. But wait, I thought that's why you said you didn't like Goomba Lagoon. What's the difference between the Tide and the Wiggler? I'm glad you asked. On Mega Wiggler's Tree Party, missing the Wiggler bridge sucks, but it isn't game-breaking. You can still get to where you need to go, but you'll just need to take a longer detour. On Goombas, you're stuck there sitting like a duck waiting for the tide to go down. The Wiggler isn't game-changing, but it's slightly annoying, just like all great Mario Party board gimmicks are. Speaking of great gimmicks, this board is incredible. The theme integration here is brilliant. Lap coins, dice pit stops, and turbo dice are all additions that make playing on this map feel more like a race than a board game. I also thought I would dislike the stars only flip-flopping between the two upper lanes, but I have completely changed my opinion on that. It's a great way of playing chicken with your competitors and making sure to take the correct lane to make sure that if they get the star on the top lane, you're able to pivot to the bottom lane to pick up the next star. One of the more strategic boards on the Switch, or at least it feels that way. And that's what I'm talking about with these boards. The illusion of choice. I know Mario Party is like 80% luck, 20% skill, but if it feels like what I'm doing makes a difference, I'm gonna feel a whole lot smarter and in turn have a lot more fun. Which if a Mario Party board can do that, it's doing its job right. Also, the effort put into putting these characters into race cars can't be understated. They're just super cool. Speaking of illusion of choice, Mario's Rainbow Castle is the prime example of that. The whole gimmick of this board is every time you get to the end, you will be greeted by a Toad or Bowser. Toad will sell you a star, Bowser will sell you a Zutar, which is useless. However, every time someone gets to the end, the pair will swap. This causes a game of chicken where any player at the end of the map will try to stall at any means necessary of going up to Bowser. The board even incentivizes this type of gameplay through its board structure. It's a simple map, but one that is expertly crafted that makes you shocked that it was one from the first game in the series, because it's one that's really unique and very well done. Remember that King Babam Countdown and King Babam's Powder Keg Mine? Well, this is the original version of that, except this time, the Bowser has a giant space laser that shoots down the spine of the board, taking all coins in its path. This board has no mercy, and the reason this countdown works and the King Babam one didn't is because you don't have to land on an event space for it to happen. All you need to do is pass through the center junction, which is pretty damn hard to avoid doing. Outside of the Bowser Beam, the board is sprinkled with many other classic events like the Speedsters and the Koopa Bank, staples of old Mario Party. But above all else, it's just a really well-designed board. There's not a bunch of weird places where you can get stuck near for multiple turns, and there's plenty of parity of paths that make exploring the map fun and ongoing. You'll have to play a few rounds of this board to get the full experience. And yet again, I have to parrot what I just said about Spaceland. Westernland is a masterclass in how you design a classic Mario Party board. There's the obvious outer circle that most players will take, but there's also the internal track that offers high reward schemes if you're able to pull them off. The train is an obvious inclusion that works to both transfer players to where they want to go and also screw over players by sending them back to the beginning when they get run over. The board feels like it was made by a professional board game artist who understands the strategy aspect and tailored it to well-informed players. For example, placing traps near the start is a prime strategy, as players are more likely to land there after being sent back by the train. Also, you can't forget the milk. The milk saloon will never not be the funniest bit in all of Mario Party. Seeing all the characters happily leave their spots on the board for a sip and yap, only for the players on the outside screaming out of frustration, is prime Mario Party content right there. Definitely a top tier Mario Party board, however, just slightly outside of the top 3. This might be my most surprising pick on the list. I didn't expect to like this map as much as I did, but it has slowly climbed the list as perhaps one of my favorite boards in the series, and that is King Bowser's Keep. I was actually shocked how good this map was when I first played it, and even more shocked how much better it was on a second playthrough. Everything about this map is played through the Imposter Bowser conveyor belt. Where you go, what amount of coins you have, your strategy turn to turn. Everything about this turn-to-turn chaos is pure Mario Party. From the item management to the scattered booze to the elusive vault, everything keeps you on your toes and second-guessing what to do each turn. And let's not just glaze over the vault just yet. The vault in the top right of the map is the most diabolical invention the Mario Party devs have ever implemented. The fact that when you land on a Bowser space, he steals all of your coins, or a star, has got everyone walking on eggshells trying to tiptoe their way through the conveyor belt. Then, if someone is actually able to crack the vault, they get everything Imposter Bowser stole. It's just pure evil. It's house rules free parking on steroids, and it's absolutely perfect. It's not a board I'd want to play on repeat, however, it's one that you should play when everyone is down for some despicable Mario Party shenanigans, because that's what you're going to get when you play this board. Now, we've got 2 boards left. I have truly gone back and forth between these 2. One, I believe, is truly a perfect Mario Party board. The other, the most ambitious board in the series. I could go either way, and I would be disappointed that the other one wasn't at number 1, but I must choose. And my choice for second place on this list is HorrorLand. HorrorLand, I think, is a perfect board. A perfect non-game breaking gimmick, a board with perfect risk versus reward decisions, and a layout that Milton Bradley and Hasbro would be salivating over. This board is littered with star-stealing boos, including a King Boo who can steal 3 stars for 150 coins. A day and night cycle that was so successful it was brought back as the main gimmick of Mario Party 6, and just enough strategy to make a veteran player happy and enough luck to keep new players smiling too. I truly didn't think another board would ever top this board. However, one from Super Mario Party Jamboree might have just done that. I am absolutely shocked I am putting Rainbow Galleria at number 1. It is far more flawed than HorrorLand. I think it is a bit too big and bloated, and getting to where you need to go can take a lifetime. However, that is very simply my only complaint. The events on this board are some of the best in the series. The stamps are brilliant theme integration. The raffle encourages spending and is quite addictive. The flash sale is great and lets you buy stars at a discount. However, the very backbone of this board are its shops. Now, I know what you're saying. Every board has shops, but not like Rainbow Galleria. Rainbow Galleria's shops change everything you thought a Mario Party game was about. This board puts you in the driver's seat and makes every turn count. This board has 5 very unique shops. The 1 coin shop near the beginning, where you can buy pretty good items for cheap. The thrift store, where a thwomp will buy an item off of you for twice the price. The gold shop that has plenty of gold items to get you where you need to go. The last place shop that gives you 15 coins and allows you to buy powerful items only if you're in last place. And the super shop that sells super creepy dice. The super swap mirror that lets you swap with anyone on the board. Or a super dueling glove that lets you duel for a star. These shops not only add to the great theming, but also change the game. Everyone on this board at all times is flush with items, meaning every turn is more meaningful. Take this play I tried to make during one game. I was 3 away from a star and had an 80% chance of rolling a 3 or higher and nabbing the star. But I wanted more. No one was close to me on the board, and with 1 turn to go, I postponed my star acquisition for some shenanigans. I used my custom dice block and surprisingly rolled a 2, 1 ahead of the star, to land on Chance Time. I was in 3rd place, and 1 star just wasn't enough for me. Chance Time didn't go according to plan, and we ended up actually giving 1st place more coins, but the fact that this chaos came from the player instead of the board is why I think this board is ingenious. It takes all of the chaos that comes from Mario Party and gave the players the keys to the command center. It said, here, you want chaos? Do it yourself. And it nailed it first try. However, my list isn't going to be the same as yours, so please leave your board ranking in the comments below. I'll be sure to respond to as many as possible. Unless Mega Fruit Paradise is your favorite, then you can unsubscribe. Anyways, thanks for watching, and this was Mac from the Switch Shop signing off. Peace.